What kind of sin could make God delay a promise for 40 years? Why would a journey meant to last weeks turn into decades of wandering in the wilderness? Today, we uncover the chilling curse that fell on Israel, a moment when unbelief provoked divine judgment and altered the destiny of an entire nation forever. This was a land God Himself described as flowing with milk and honey, a place of abundance, beauty, and rest. Yet what lay ahead was not immediate joy, but years of wandering, testing, and sorrow before the promise could be fulfilled. Standing at the edge of blessing, Israel faced a defining moment. Faith would move them forward, but fear held them back. What followed was a divine judgment that echoed through generations. As we journey through the book of Numbers, chapter by chapter, we'll uncover how beauty, blessing, and opportunity were overshadowed by doubt, disobedience, and what this ancient story still teaches us today. Our story begins in the wilderness of Paran, shortly after the Israelites leave Mount Sinai. God has already proven His power, freeing them from slavery in Egypt, parting the Red Sea, and giving them His law through Moses. Now, they stand just steps away from the Promised Land, the land God swore to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, a land flowing with milk and honey. In Numbers chapter 13, the Lord speaks directly to Moses. He says, "Send men to explore the land of Canaan, which I am giving to the Israelites." This command is important. God has already promised the land, yet He allows the people to see it for themselves. Moses obeys without hesitation. Moses selects 12 men, one leader from each of the 12 tribes of Israel. These are respected men, not ordinary followers. Among them are Caleb from the tribe of Judah and Joshua, then called Hoshea, from the tribe of Ephraim. Their mission will soon reveal the difference between faith and fear. Before they depart, Moses gives them clear instructions. They are to examine the land carefully. Are the people strong or weak? Few or many? Are the cities open or fortified? Is the soil fertile or poor? Are there trees? And Moses urges them, do your best to bring back some of the fruit of the land. For 40 days, the spies travel through the land of Canaan, from the dry Negev in the south to the far northern regions near Lebo Hamath. What they see is undeniable. The land is rich, fertile, and overflowing with life, just as God promised. In the valley of Eshcol, the spies cut down a cluster of grapes so large that it must be carried on a pole between two men. They also gather pomegranates and figs. The fruit is physical proof that the promised land is real, abundant, and ready. But this chapter is not only about what the spies see, it's about how they respond. Standing between promise and possession, God is testing the hearts of His people. Will they trust what He has said, or will fear take control before the battle even begins? When the spies return, excitement spreads through the camp of Israel. Crowds gather as they stand before Moses and the entire assembly. They display the fruit they brought back and confirm the truth, saying, "We went into the land you sent us to, and it truly does flow with milk and honey. Here is its fruit." For a moment, hope fills the air, but the tone quickly shifts. 10 of the spies begin to spread a fearful report. They warn that the people living in the land are powerful and the cities heavily fortified. They speak of the descendants of Anak, the Anakim, men of great size and strength, giants in their eyes. They list the enemies scattered across the land: Amalekites, Hittites, Jebusites, Amorites, and Canaanites. As fear grows, the spies exaggerate their weakness, saying, "We seemed like grasshoppers in our own eyes, and so we were in theirs." Their words shrink Israel's confidence and magnify the enemy, turning a land of promise into a place of terror. Then Caleb steps forward. He silences the frightened crowd and boldly declares, "We should go up and take possession of the land, for we can certainly do it." His voice is one of faith, reminding the people that victory does not depend on their strength, but on God's promise. But the other spies refuse to agree. They insist, "We can't attack those people. They are stronger than we are." Their fear spreads through the camp like fire, twisting the truth until the land itself is described as one that devours its inhabitants. This is where the curse truly begins, not with God's anger, but with human unbelief. The spies had witnessed God's power, the plagues in Egypt, the Red Sea parted, manna falling from heaven, water flowing from rocks. Yet in this moment, fear makes them forget. This chapter teaches us a powerful lesson. Doubt spreads quickly, and unbelief can turn divine promise into disaster. The bad report hits the camp like a storm. That very night, the entire community of Israel breaks down in tears. Cries and wailing fill the air as fear takes control. Numbers chapter 14 opens with the people grumbling, saying, "If only we had died in Egypt, or here in the wilderness. Why is the Lord bringing us to this land just to let us fall by the sword?" Their fear turns into accusation. They worry about their families, crying out, "Our wives and children will be taken as plunder." Then, in a shocking moment, they say, "Wouldn't it be better to go back to Egypt?" The promise of freedom suddenly feels more frightening than the chains they once wore. The rebellion grows even worse. The people begin to plan among themselves, saying they should choose a new leader and return to slavery. At this, Moses and Aaron fall face down before the entire assembly, overwhelmed and pleading silently for mercy. Joshua and Caleb react with grief. They tear their clothes and cry out to the people, pleading with them to listen. They declare, "The land we explored is exceedingly good. If the Lord is pleased with us, He will lead us into it. Do not rebel against the Lord. Do not be afraid of the people of the land. The Lord is with us." But the crowd refuses to listen. Their fear turns into rage, and they begin talking about stoning Joshua and Caleb. This moment marks a breaking point, not just doubt, but open rebellion against God Himself, the very one who rescued them from Egypt. Suddenly, everything changes. The glory of the Lord appears at the tent of meeting, visible to all the Israelites. God's presence interrupts the chaos, signaling that judgment is near and that this rebellion will not go unanswered. This chapter reveals a timeless truth about the human heart. When fear takes over, people often romanticize the past. In moments of uncertainty, Egypt's chains begin to look safer than trusting God's promise. It is a warning that still speaks to us today. Then the Lord speaks to Moses, and his words are heavy with sorrow and anger. God asks, "How long will these people treat me with contempt? How long will they refuse to believe in me, despite all the signs I have performed among them?" God declares that He could strike them down with a plague and start over, raising a new and greater nation through Moses alone. But Moses steps in as an intercessor. He does not defend the people's actions. Instead, he appeals to God's mercy and His reputation among the nations. Moses pleads, "In accordance with your great love, forgive the sin of these people, just as you have forgiven them since leaving Egypt." Moses reminds God of His faithful and compassionate nature. God listens. He chooses not to wipe out the nation, but justice still must be served. The Lord declares that none of the adults who witnessed His glory, miracles in Egypt, and signs in the wilderness, yet repeatedly rebelled, will enter the promised land. Their unbelief has reached its limit. Then the curse is spoken. God announces that their children will wander the wilderness for 40 years. 1 year for every day the land was explored. The current generation will die in the desert, and only then will their children inherit the promise. It is a punishment measured, deliberate, and tied directly to their actions. God makes one exception. Caleb and Joshua, who trusted Him fully, will enter the promised land. Their faith sets them apart. Meanwhile, the 10 spies who spread fear and unbelief are struck down by a plague that very day. This is the heart of the story. The curse was not random or cruel, it was the result of persistent unbelief. Yet even in judgment, God shows mercy. He preserves the next generation, proving that His promises may be delayed, but they are never broken. When the people hear God's judgment, grief sweeps through the camp. They mourn bitterly and confess, "We have sinned." In desperation, they try to undo the curse by force. They declare, "Here we are. We will go up to the place the Lord promised." But this repentance comes too late, and without obedience. Moses urgently warns them, "Do not go up, because the Lord is not with you. You will be defeated." But the people ignore him. Presuming on God's mercy, they march toward Canaan without Moses, and without the Ark of the Covenant, the symbol of God's presence. Disaster follows quickly. The Amalekites and Canaanites pour down from the hills and attack. Israel is defeated and chased back as far as Hormah. This failed invasion seals their fate. There would be no shortcut around God's word. From this point on, the story changes. The people begin their long years of wandering in the wilderness. The rest of the book of Numbers, from chapters 15 to 36, records life under the curse, new laws, repeated rebellions, and moments of divine mercy. Rebellion continues. Korah rises against Moses in chapter 16. Complaints bring plagues and fiery serpents. Yet even in judgment, God provides, sending manna from heaven, quail for food, and water from the rock. He never abandons his people. Tragedy strikes the leaders as well. Aaron dies on Mount Hor. Later, Moses strikes the rock in anger instead of speaking to it, and is told he will not enter the promised land. Even God's chosen servants are held accountable. Yet God's promise remains unbroken. When Balaam is hired to curse Israel, his words are turned into blessings instead. What man intends for harm, God transforms for good. These chapters show us what life under the curse looks like, a season of testing, discipline, and refinement. Faith is shaped in the wilderness, and the next generation is being prepared to enter what their parents refused to trust. These chapters reveal what life under the curse truly looks like. It is not constant punishment, but a long season of testing and discipline. Day after day in the wilderness, God allows hardship to expose what is in the hearts of the people, whether they will complain, rebel, or learn to trust Him. In the wilderness, faith is not built through comfort, but through dependence. With no cities, no farms, and no armies, the people must rely on God for everything: food from heaven, water from rocks, and guidance through the desert. Each day becomes a lesson in trust. At the same time, God is shaping a new generation. The children who grow up in the wilderness do not remember Egypt's chains. They learn obedience, experience God's faithfulness firsthand, and are prepared to enter the promised land their parents were too afraid to claim. Life under the curse is not the end of the story, it is preparation. Through discipline, God refines His people. Through delay, He strengthens their faith. And through the wilderness, He proves that His promises may take time, but they never fail.